Bow.
You got jokes?
Yeah. Bow. What's going on, guys? It's your boy, the BLACC. Okay, I can't do this now.
All right, I'm here. The man, the myth, the legend, F.L.O.W.
What's up?
Bro, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us and, giving us your time, man. I think it's important to highlight your story. You're somebody who's very active in the community, somebody who's donated not only funds seemingly, but your time, which is more important than anything. A lot of people will give money, but they won't give their time. And you've been doing on the front lines for the I Stand With Jennifer movement that's going on right now. That's real heavy.
Yeah.
And I've seen you on Jesus and Mero, and I've seen that she's really appreciative of all the support you've given her, and I think it's an incredible thing you're doing. So I want to get right into it. Let's just tell the story of who F.L.O.W. is for those who don't know. Let's get to know the man outside of the Instagram, outside of the Twitter, the Periscope. Who is the guy, and how did he become to be this man who answered the call of this woman? So let's start off from the beginning. How did you get your name?
F.L.O.W. stands for Freedom Lies Only Within, and pretty much I was watching, like growing up, I was always into Malcolm X, my favorite movie, the Black Panthers, all these people, and I realized that every single organization, individual, eventually got shut down. So no matter how much progression, how much freedom we spoke about, in the outside world, it really didn't mean anything at the end of the day. But like your thoughts and your feelings, those are always important. Like I always felt like I could think myself out of any situation. So like that's where the Freedom Lies Only Within thing kind of comes from, because no matter what this world tells me, no matter what kind of oppression I face, I know that I could think myself out of any situation.
That's dope, bro. And for the people who don't know and aren't familiar, where exactly are you from? Where was this mentality cultivated?
North side of Queens, on Farmers Boulevard, by the Rock.
Okay,
like
infamous.
Yeah, the infamous Rock.
The landscape, what they call landmark.
Yeah, definitely a landmark in Queens.
Yeah, and all right. So growing up there, what was it like? Was it hard? Was it a struggle?
It was like in the middle. Like my parents kind of spoiled me, but I always tell people I got the best of both worlds. My dad was a preacher. My uncle sold drugs. He was on the block.
Okay.
My grandmother was a nurse. My mom worked for the post office. Like other uncles that might have been on drugs or been outside the liquor store all day. So I had like a mix of every single possible thing you could think of.
Gumbo. That's
yeah, exactly.
Gumbo. That's cool, bro.
Yep.
So again, when somebody's a preacher's kid, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. It's a lot of expectations. Like if you watch the show The Shot, there's a character on there called Papa, and he's like the moral compass of the show in terms of like he always tells them like this is what we should and shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
So did you feel that weight growing up as a kid?
I think is my dad, he was from like a big church. So when I was in high school, if I was getting into a fight, somebody drove by, it was more than likely somebody from the church that was going to see it. If I was cutting class, somebody from the church is going to see it. But like as I got older, and I realized like, hey, that's him. Like that's my father. Not to say that we don't share the same morals and principles, but I'm old enough to where you can't check me on certain things. It's just like, hey, I'm a grown man. I'm doing this. Yeah. I'm not doing anything illegal, but you don't have to bother me every step of the way either.
Okay. So now, with that background, what led you to becoming a music artist? Because a lot of people may not know, because they might know about your activism, but you're also a pretty good artist. You're a conscious artist. I know some people aren't into labels and things like that, but I would say, your music definitely comes with a conscious tone to it. So would you speak to that? Like, what made you become an artist?
I think I always dabble with music and whatnot, or just like wordplay. And pretty much what was happening was we had this one thing in 4th grade to where we had to write poetry. And I never forget, I wrote poetry and all the girls went crazy. Like everybody had to get up and...
That'll influence it.
Yeah, so then it was like, all of 4th grade, I had people that would give me like their lunch money, all types of stuff, food, to write poetry for them.
Oh, that's dope.
To other girls. Like this was like around Valentine's Day. So I might have made like $10 off 10 people. Like I was a little hustling, like, yo, write me this, and personalize it to Erica. Personalize this to Jessica. So I started doing that. And eventually it just crossed over into beats, and then my cousins was rapping, so I naturally wanted to rap, and then we just kept at it.
So who would you say like early on was your influences that influenced the sound that you have today?
Early on, probably DMX. Like I don't know if it like personalized my sound, but that's what I was listening to. DMX. I got on the Jay-Z wave like real late. Okay. Like I don't think I heard if Blueprint came out 2001. I don't think I heard it till like 6 years later. Oh, okay. Same thing with Nas. Like I didn't.
He was probably retired by that point.
Yeah, for a little bit.
First retirement.
Yeah, like I ain't hit Illmatic till I was like 17, 18.
Wow. Okay.
So like, and then eventually, like, then when I really started to like rap, I got heavy into, you know, of course, Jay-Z, Lupe, Joe Budden. That's like my three. Like I understand it's not.
Joe don't get enough props. That's my guy.
He don't. Like I understand that's a weird top to have.
Yeah.
But like if you talking about my personal favorites, those three is like in the mix.
But those three is bars. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I love
like,
bars.
Those are like, they not just rapping about rapping. Like
yeah.
A lot of them is like impactful life bars.
Exactly.
Things that go over your head sometimes that you don't listen to 50 times.
Yep.
You double back and be like, yo, I never caught that type.
I love that. I love them.
So that's powerful. That's powerful. So when you pick up your pen, that's what you aim to do, I would imagine.
Exactly.
All right. So, you know, I did my research, brother. I did my research. You know, because I ain't gonna ask you to come here and spend time unless, you know, I do my due diligence. So out of respect for you, I did my digging. Mm-hmm. One thing that I seen that was a theme throughout your social media was that something I could say that we share in common. It seems like you had a real connection to Nipsey in terms of his music, and I'm sure even greater than that, the persona itself. Yeah, the prolific tattoo. Yeah. Like speak to that for me, man. What was the impact of Nipsey on you and your sound, or just your life in general?
I kind of felt bad because I got heavy into him on the tail end. Like I remember I used to work overnights at Home Depot years ago, and this is like around the time where he dropped Mailbox Money. Now me and this dude named Chris would argue every night. I don't know why, but it was like Nipsey versus J-Rock. Yeah. And at the time, like I was like, yo, huge on TDE, like yo, J-Rock's that dude. Yeah. And I remember I used to always tell him like, yo, I don't know, Nipsey's mad simple at times. I'm like, yo, that's why it's funny having this conversation now. He's like, oh, you got the tat now, bro, okay. So I'm like, I used to think Nipsey was mad simple, and then he would just like, yo, listen to him. Yeah. He said, it's not no super over the head bars. He's like, I know you love Lupe. I know you like Budden and Jay-Z. I said, but take the time to listen to the things he's saying. And he said, watch the interviews. He said, the interviews will make you really appreciate the actual music. So I did that, and then I played Mailbox Money again. And I was like, okay. Then I played Slow Some Boys too. I played everything. I went back to Crane. I never had a problem with these albums, but I was like, it's kind of simple. Right. And then like Victory Lap, I said, okay, this is the one. Yeah. He's out of here. Like I'm a fan from this point on. Sure. And then as you see, you know, of course, unfortunately, he's not here anymore. But
funny enough, with the Nipsey and J-Rock comparison, I believe both of them dropped their album around the same time.
Yeah,
dropped Victory Lap.
I was arguing about that too. Redemption versus Victory Lap, my other man. So I was
Redemption was a good album.
It was.
It was something. It was just something special about Victory.
Yeah.
It was just
every song.
Like everything was coming together perfectly. Everything was aligning. Like
it's scary.
I think with Nipsey, one thing that I appreciate is that his following, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like you. I got onto him a little bit later. Yeah. But I think his following started growing so strong towards the end because from the beginning he's dropping so many jewels. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when you're coming up, people don't pay that no mind because they don't see you in that light. But then once he reached a certain plateau, people started to say, "Yo, what is this dude? What's going on with this guy?" And then you just started to see like it was different. So now to connect the dots with that, one thing I think that's really dope. And about what Nipsey would do is that he, of course, with the marathon and everything like that, he started to do his own thing in terms of branding himself and with merchandise. Now, I was going through your social media again, and I noticed that you have merchandise, and that's not very common for like up and coming artists. Yeah. So it's like, where did you get that business sense from in a way?
Because music don't make money.
Right.
And like my parents, everybody supports my dreams. They love the music. They have no issue with it. But you're gonna be broke for a long time before you actually, you know, start making money off music. So it's like, all right. So my thing was every time I drop a song, I drop a shirt. So even if I don't necessarily make a lot of money off the music, at least I can at least pay back for the studio session I had or something. Like, it wasn't a lot of money, but I always said eventually somebody's gonna find this site and they're gonna buy everything eventually, which they've been doing.
Cool.
And I have a love-hate relationship with it right now, but I appreciate it.
So that brings me to my next question, which is, what is BLACC and what are y'all about?
BLACC is Black Liaisons and Crowdfunded Community. So it actually started not too far from here. My man Rich, his mom had a juice bar. So what happened was I was doing straight juices, no food for 30 days. And I was getting my juice from I work in Long Island. I was getting it from random people, white people, Spanish people, all these type of people. And then he hits me up. He's like, yo, man, if you want to try some juice, my mom's got a shop. So I'm like, damn, this is day 22. And I'm just now finding out my man's got a juice bar. So what I said, all right, I'm gonna come between 12 and 2. Anybody who walks into this juice bar, I will personally pay for your juice, because I felt bad because I should have been supporting you. So that started to take off. And I got home that day, I was like, yo, what if we just, imagine if there was 10 people like me who put their money together and said, all right, for the next 4 hours at this black-owned spot, we paying for everything. And it wasn't even that expensive when I did it. So I'm like, with 10 people, it should be so easy. So some people started hitting me up, like, yo, I like this idea, let's do it. And then we just gave something away at 6, 5 minutes ago. I'm sure it's gone by now. But that's what we do. We just gonna say, all right, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna pay for everything and then give it out for free. Because black people, we love free stuff. And I realized from a marketing standpoint, if you like it, you'll come back. So I pay attention to everything, Instagram pages where if we promoted a business, put out for free, I realized the next day, extra 100 followers in a week, 1,000 followers, okay. And they keep going, so you circulate the black dollar over and over and over and over. I'm like, all right, you gotta treat it like drugs. Like I told you, my uncle sold drugs. A lot of drug dealers will tell you, the first hit is free. So, all right, if I give you something out for free that you like, you get hooked, you're gonna spend money at that black business the rest of your life.
That's a jewel right there. Catch that. Make sure y'all catch that.
I'm trying, man. So that's how it started, and it's active. Even in August, we've been giving away something for free each week. Today is a T-shirt line called Super by Coop, and all the proceeds of his business go towards black issues. So it's what's the point of black business? That's the point of black business. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing year round.
That's what's up, man. That's amazing. I know the question is probably redundant, especially after all you just said. But why do you feel so passionately about supporting black businesses? Because some people don't even understand the importance of that black business being in that community and what it does. So could you speak to that? Why do you feel so passionate about this?
Mostly because I'm black. And I want to see people who look like me be successful. I mean, there's no reason to why. We all live in the hood, but if I walk down my block, I see so many different businesses of people who don't even live in that area. I done seen the guy who owns a grocery store pull off in a Maserati and go to wherever the hell he lives at. Ain't no Maserati in my hood. Ain't that type of money coming through my hood. Why not? Why can't you? We make the Chinese man, I don't want to say the China man, it made the people at the Chinese store rich all the time. They be staples in the community for 30 years. Every Chinese food restaurant that you know has probably been there for a minimum of 15 to 20 years. They never have an issue. They're not going anywhere. You throw a black-owned business in your hood, your black hood, they might be there for a year or two. They tell us business fails in the first year or 2 years. That's black business that fails.
And it's I try to tell people that as well. It's interesting to me. People will go to the Chinese restaurant, for example, have a negative experience time after time, argue with the people, go back. They go to a black business, have one bad experience, and that's it. They write them off as though this is why I can't deal with black people and black businesses, and that's just a sorry mentality that people have.
Bro, I've seen people call I'm not gonna say names, a Chinese restaurant in my neighborhood dirty for my whole life for 30 years and have been there for 30 years. I'm
they need to clean. Everybody still coming?
And what does is I always tell people, yo, you gotta realize these black owned businesses, it might be 2 people that's working there. The reason you ain't get your order yet in an hour is because it's 2 set of hands. I'm like, the next time you go in there and it's a long wait time, ask them. Everybody got kids, everybody got young cousins. Like, yo, I see y'all kind of short staffed. You need somebody to help you with this XYZ. You got an application, do that. Like, even if it's like some pro bono work, like got a barbershop, kids used to always sweep up here. Like, there's always something you can find somebody to do. Like, you want your experience to be better, help out that business. It's not their fault.
Yo, how you just be like, you clumsy with these Jews, bro? You just dropping them like
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Right, man, that's amazing. Now, just I want to backtrack for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get into this juice thing. You mentioned that you was in the juices and all that.
Yeah.
What's your juice recommendations? What's F.L.O.'s juice recommendations?
If we talking about smoothies,
okay.
what I learned when I did no food for 30 days in June, I'm actually doing it again in September. Okay. I lost 23 pounds at that point. If I lose 10, if I want to lose 10, 15 more, because the thing what people don't realize is when you take away food, when you go back to food, you're going to gain a lot of it back. I gained 5 pounds that first week because your body doesn't know the next time it's going to eat. So it's like, all right, he put me through 30 days of hell. The next piece of food he get, I'm holding it like it's like a jewel. Like, I'm going to hold it. I'm not going to drop it. So you got to ease back in the food. But as far as smoothies goes, you cannot go wrong with anything peanut butter and banana. Anything. Like, you can throw, I don't care what's the third thing you throw in there, you got peanut butter and banana, it's going to be straight every single time. Okay. Like, I mean, if you're talking about like juicing, kale, you don't get the runs. Like, the first week, your body gotta get used to it.
Yo, I'm glad you said that because I started trying to juice and I had to stop this pack I was using because I'm like, yo, I don't know if this kale should
gonna make you,
in my stomach.
It's gonna make you go. It's gonna make you go.
Okay, I'm glad it wasn't just me. Okay.
Yeah, but stick to smoothies, man. All these spots got like the first spot I sponsored, Be in Good Health. Yeah. It's on Merrick. Oh, yeah. Way further down. I wish I knew the address offhand, but it's called Be in Good Health. Yeah. It's in Laurelton. Like, they have a whole menu. Yeah, something like that. Like, I wish I knew it offhand, but yeah, like, you'll see. Whatever you like, you can find something. It's not hard.
Definitely. All right. Well, we won't put it off any longer. Mm-hmm. Tell me, how did you hear about Jennifer's story?
Twitter. This was July 11th. I believe it was a Saturday. I'm just like on the timeline watching URL, Smack Battles, whatever. They had a big.
Who's your favorite battle rapper?
Right now, Rum Nitty. Oh, right now, Rum Nitty. Okay. So we watching that, and like I think it was like down to the last battle, like Lux and Surf. Wasn't a good one. Yeah. But my man Tay was like, yo, he retweeted something and added me. He's like, yo, this is Valley Stream. So I'm not paying attention. I really look at the tweet. I'm like, yo, it's a sign of somebody's door saying they dealing with harassment, blah blah blah. And I'm like, Valley Stream, like, you in Queens, like, growing up, that was damn near Queens to me. Yeah. We was going to Green Acres Mall all the time. Yeah. So I'm like, nah, this can't be Valley Stream. Like, this is damn near Queens. He's like, yeah. So I said, yo, I said it like 3 times on Twitter. I said, somebody getting me contact with this person. I said, I guarantee, give me an hour. I'll have this person's name, address, phone number. And whoever posted it originally DM me. It's like, oh, actually, Jennifer just made a Twitter page. It's like, all right, I found her on Twitter. She sends me a number. Like, ever since that day, July 11th, we've been texting all day, every day. And I was like, yeah, I don't really know what I could do. I could like park my car outside your house and just sit there if that makes you feel better. So she was weary about it. Yeah. A day goes by. I done posted the picture a million times. It starts to gain like attraction, and then all of a sudden I'm getting texts and people are taking selfies in front of her house. And I'm like, how the hell y'all figure out where this is at? It just says Valley Stream. Yeah. People do their detective works, like Google Images, like they found it. Like people be doing. I'm like, oh man. So in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm talking about this issue, and people are finding the address. So I kind of feel like the blood's on my hand. I had a lunch break, hour-long lunch break. I took 4 hours. I left my job, drove to the house. People there. I'm like, yo, what's up? I was F.L.O.W, the guy he was reaching out to, and I'm just like, yo, it's kind of crazy. I say, yo, people are finding the address. It might be even more important that I stay over here at night. So we get cool. We build a rapport. She's like, all right, cool. And then I've been doing it ever since. Like, when I leave here, that's where I'm going. This is day 34. Yeah. So that's kind of how it started.
Well, all right, I'm gonna get to that actually. So from your initial encounters that you were speaking on as well, do you like? Was she like? You know, I'm sure she was shaking with everything going on. Like, was she like receptive, or was she a little skittish? Like, you know.
I mean, the thing about Jennifer, she's a very caring person. So if she feels like everybody knows I'm tired, I won't admit it. Like, I won't admit certain things because I know she sees it and she's like, I don't want to put this guy at a burden. But I'm like, cool. Like, I'm like, you was dealing with this for 2.5 years of like pure harassment. I can deal with being uncomfortable for a couple months or however long this might take. So it's like, I hide a lot of the things I'm feeling, whether that be mentally or physically. I'm getting therapy after this. I already told people. But I'm like, I hide a lot of that because I don't want her to feel like she's like making me, like, she's not making me do a damn thing. She done told me I could leave a million times, and I keep telling her, you know, we're not leaving until we see some form of justice. So yeah, she has her concerns, like everyone else. Like anybody who care about you, they're gonna have concerns about you staying somewhere for 12 hours and then going to work for 8 hours. Like that's not how your body should be operating. Yeah.
For sure. So have you been surprised by the support that has come? I mean, in a sense, it's like with so much that's been going on with the pandemic, and then you have the murder of George Floyd, and I told you this before. I even went out to the rally because with everything that happened with Breonna Taylor, this struck me as a situation very similar, and I even heard Jennifer speak on that on Jesus and Mero as well. That this is so many times we react after something happens to somebody, and then like you said with Queens, it's a largely African American black community, like, so it's like that overwhelming support. Like I said, were you surprised by that?
The support, yes and no. I guess I'm surprised at the amount of support. I knew there would be people come out to help, but like the numbers have been kind of crazy. Like it's dying down now because it's old news. Like I know the media cycle. I tell people every single day. I said, I know the days that this is going to take off. I said, day one, it was like, oh shit, a black guy guarding his house. I said, they're going to care day 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30. Them days in between, nothing. I know the traction. Like we on day 34, it might go up on day 40. Right. Day 50 for sure. It's like black man, because the news cycle is weird like that. Right. It's like, all right, we just need the headline. Yeah. No one cares about black man stays for 12 days. 12 isn't a cool number. Right. 13 is not a cool number. Right. But when you say 30, because you could say he's been there a month. Yeah. So I'm like, we have to use the press to our advantage, because when they stop talking about it, this shit is over. They're waiting for it to sweep this under the rug right now. So I'm like, all right, cool. I know I have the number in my head where I would pass out. Like I got that number. I'm not stupid. I know this isn't sustainable, but the numbers have been crazy. I appreciate everybody that's supporting us. It's not about supporting me. I'm good. Like I don't live there. Like
that's one thing I want to point out. Anybody who might think that this good brother here has a hidden agenda or a hidden motive, I'm watching the periscopes. You're turning down cash apps, like the request is,
bro,
what's your cash app? People are stalking your I've never seen people say forcibly, we're gonna put money in your pockets, whether you like it or not.
That's why when you pull up the merch page, I'm like, that's why I won't say what it is. Okay. I made the mistake of, it was still in my IG caption. Yeah. So people was like, oh, he don't want our cash app. They bought every single shirt I had off my site. I'm like, damn, I was like, now I gotta mail this stuff. But I finally mailed it up. I'm like, yo, y'all crazy. Like, I have a love-hate thing with it. I'm like, yo, if y'all knew the first couple weeks, I had 6,000 DMs. Now I'm sitting out there, I'm stupid to the point that I check every single last one. Like I don't care if it's a verified page or you got 10 followers. Even if I hit you with the double like, understand it's because I can't answer the 6,000 people. 4,000 of those at least were all asking for cash apps. And I'm like, I can show you screenshots of me every time saying no. A lot of people would not do that. I'm like, same thing I said with music. This is my first time even talking about music in 34 days. Because I said, yo, I'm gonna make it an emphasis. I'm not gonna rhyme a single word. So if you was gonna ask me to rap, I was gonna tell you the same thing.
All right, I'll put the instrumental in.
I said I'm not rapping a single word until this is over. Like I'm not. My intentions are pure. We'll still do BLACC because there's people under me that see the vision. I can't just say like, yo, stop everything you're doing because I'm doing this. Like, nah, still do that, and it still has an agenda of helping black people. So we'll still do that, but I don't cross promote. I don't like that. I went to school for marketing before I dropped out. They would call me a fool because you're supposed to take every opportunity and promote something else to bring traction to it. I can't do that. I can't make money off of this lady like living in fear. Like whatever money you got, send it to her GoFundMe.
And I would imagine she's probably told you put your cash.
Man, every day. I said if it makes you feel good, I said I'll drop it the day this case is over.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Cause I will need the money. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will need it.
Right.
But I'm like, all right, hey, so and so. It's a guy named Lawrence that's out there with me, big pickup truck, and he has a food truck. As soon as this is over, I'm like, yo, we getting that food truck popping. I'm gonna use all these followers that I gained in the last month. It's gonna go to you. You're gonna make some money. Whoever else was out there with me, what business you got? Cool, you're gonna make some money. To the people who drop off food, I'm like, yo, get on camera, shout out your business, shout out your Instagram page, your Twitter. Like some girl's dropping off, she makes custom drinks. She got 100 followers just from coming there. And I'm like, all right, this is what we gonna do. If you're gonna come here, hopefully you black. If you're not black, you realize you wasn't on camera. But I'm feeling like, oh, hey, shout your shit. I'm like, all right, we can still do this. I can run a business from somebody's steps. Yeah. I say that shit every single night. Yeah. I said that I could run a business from right there.
We are, in a sense, man.
And I'm like, this.
Then, speaking of the support, I've seen that Karuchi is one who
beautiful woman.
Shows some support. Has there been any other big names or anybody? I seen Big U had posted, the Crips came by and all that stuff.
I wouldn't, as far as like celebrities, not really. Like they reach out, we have conversations. I mean, I can't really say who. If they ain't say it publicly, I don't really like to say it publicly. So it's people have been reaching out like, oh, I like what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, she was the one, and I respect her because nobody hit her up. She seen the tweet, and she was like, yo, what you need? And I responded, but I guess so many people have responded, she didn't see it. So she DM'd me, and she's like, hey, I don't know if you saw, but I asked you, did you need anything? Like that kind of like, yo, I just asked you, did you need help?
That's a real one.
Yeah, OD. So I'm like, oh, I did respond. I'm like, oh, but if you can send XYZ, that joint was there the next day. And then she sent something else the next week, still be in contact. She's like, oh, you good, you sleeping, you got food, you got water, like all of that is there. And I really appreciate, shout out to her. Shout out to everybody in the hood. It's like, yo, man, she in her DMs is like, it's not about that, bro. It's not about, I know, she's beautiful.
Listen, man.
But shout out to Victor Cruz. I'm a Giants fan.
Listen,
none of that.
At the end of this journey, it might be a couple Carucci's.
Oh, man.
But, so when there's a lot of attention, whenever there's positivity, there's some negativity.
Plenty.
So, with that said, what's been like the neighbors' reaction and the police reaction? I seen initially there was the whole thing going on with sanitation and the garbage bags piling up in the driveway. Like, what's been the reaction from the community?
The garbage situation is handled now. That really hasn't been an issue for a couple weeks. The neighbors, the thing about Long Island is a lot of their complaints wouldn't be complaints anywhere else. Like if I live in Queens, if I put a tent on my front yard, it's my yard. Yeah. Like whatever. In Long Island, it's like, yeah, it's your yard, but the thing is, if you're across, it can't be an eyesore to your neighbor.
That's the word exactly I was gonna say.
It can't be an eyesore. So it was like, yeah, you could do whatever you want on your property, but if I could see it and I don't like it, technically I could probably get it out of there. And I think, and my arguments with some of the neighbors is like, I'm like, leave me alone. Right. Simple and plain. Right. Am I making noise? Well, some people that come over here, I said, am I making noise? I said, I could point you to every single car that's with me in this cause. I can't account for what happens when I leave and go to work. Oh, so-and-so, was that me? Oh, I almost got hit by, was that my car? You know what car I drive. Like, don't associate with me with other things. You got people who's like, oh man, we should get F.L.O. off the block. What is F.L.O. doing? oh, F.L.O.W is doing what you should have did for 2 years. It's not so much that we're creating disturbance, is that we're painting a huge target on your back because you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. And that's not, and it's like, yo man, but you don't know, you're not from this neighborhood. I said, I don't care what neighborhood I'm from, what neighborhood you're from. This lady is asking for help and you're making it about yourself. You feel uncomfortable by the sight of us. And I have, every time y'all make a complaint, I told the boys out there, I said, all right, I'm so petty, I'm gonna be like, yo, tonight, we're not saying a single word. Like, it's gonna be scary silent. Like, we done that for nights. I said, we all got phones. You need me, text me. Sign language, something, anything. I'm like, yo, sat there in complete silence. But I'm like, but y'all don't say nothing about shorty on the corner who has karaoke every night, or dudes that be revving their engines all night. People be screaming like, yo, you caring about some people that's sitting on the lawn and you know exactly why they are there. You should be sitting on the lawn too. Every time they complain, I say, yo, you know where I'm at? And I post the hours that I'm there from, 6 to 6, 7 to 6. I'm here for 12, 13 hours. You have a problem? Come sit down. Like, you know where my office is at. It's open. It's open for 12 hours. Come talk to me. Like, if you're not talking to me, but you want to complain, like, I ain't hearing none of that. I don't complain, who cares? I'll be all right. Cops have been surprisingly cool. They haven't been there. That's why they've been cool. Because they trying to build a rapport.
So I know with whenever there's something that gains a lot of traction like this, comes craziness too at times. What's some of the crazy things that you've experienced in your shifts
that I could talk about? It was kind of really early on. First, like the second night, had a car that was parked behind me, white couple, for like rambling. And the thing is, it's no parking on that block. They let you rock because it's like, when COVID happened, but it's literally me and one car behind me. So son says, all right, let me get out. Let me fake walk to the store just to like get a look at them. Walk, see us, like I said, it's a white couple. And they watching like something on YouTube, but I could tell they just turned it on when I got out the car. And they're like fake laughing, like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, all right, I got your face. And then like, I walk back to the car, hour later, they still there. Guys like smoking a blunt. So like, eventually I might get out the car and stretch my legs. This is before I was ever on the lawn. I'm just like posted up on the block. I stretch my legs, I walk around the block. I get back to the block, I see the car pulling off and they're leaving because I guess they figured I left because I took a 10-minute walk. And then I get back in my car, start it up. I see that same car busting a U-turn and then get right back behind me and then turn their lights off. So I'm like, all right, enough is enough. I get out. My pops, my uncle hated that I do this. Like, he's like, it's dangerous. Like, I got out, I go to the car, like, yo, you following me? You watching me? He's like, nah, I'm watching Maria Barnes' house. I said, who Maria's Barnes? Like, he's like, it's a friend or a cousin or something like that, Jennifer. I was like, boom, you don't even have your story straight. I said, because I got out you've been here for 2 hours. The minute I leave my car and you think I'm going, you leave. Yeah, the minute I leave my car, you think I left, so you decide to leave. You see me get back in the car and you bust a U-turn. He's like, oh, there was a guy on the corner that was revving his engine. I said, there's nobody on this block. He's like, yeah, but I seen a cop was following you. Cool, let him follow me. I said, I'd rather a cop follow me than this dude. Yeah. Like, I could deal with cops following me. Right. I understand that. Like, they're not gonna do anything in a situation to where there's a huge spotlight on them. He was like, oh man, what I'm watching now? I said, so watch the house. I said, don't watch me. I said, when I left my car, the house didn't go anywhere. Yeah. The house didn't take a walk. Yeah. You can still watch the house if I'm not there. If your main objective is to watch the house, then watch the fucking house, man. Like, he's like, oh, thank you for getting permission to watch the house. Like, shh. I said, it's 3 a.m. You making a lot of noise. Please shut up. And I just went back to my car. And then he eventually left. He was like, cause you look stupid. You ain't even have your story straight. No, it was an undercover, plain clothes cops been messing with me. Like, all right, cool. Trying to get information. I done had the trustee of Valley Stream damn near bribe me, asking, oh, what's gonna make you leave? I said, I don't make laws. I'm not in the police department. Y'all know exactly how to make us leave. And I said, and you realize that you can't make us leave because we're not doing anything illegal. So we'll continue to be an eyesore to whoever feels like it's an eyesore, and you know how to make us leave. Meet these demands. It's an open case. Handle the case. It's not hard.
I like how you using that word against them, because you know that's a very Caucasian word. Eyesore is their thing. That's their thing. So that's cool that you're using that. So Let me ask you, why has it been longer than the initial 30 days?
I like to throw numbers out there to let people know, to let people think they know the game plan. But they don't realize that I said 30 was the minimum.
Okay.
People just, I kept saying 30. It's, oh man, people was trying to buy a cake on the 30th day. I said, why? I said, I'm still gonna be here. I'm like, nothing has happened. There's been no justice served yet. And I tell people, my main focus is let's not make no performative bullshit. Even some people at the rally, performative bullshit. I don't know if I can curse on here. So I'm like, performance would say, I'm gonna set a set number, hit that number, then go home. I'm like, but you didn't accomplish anything. So I'm like, I'll keep going until we get what we want. There's no set number. There's no, people ask me the end goal. There is an end goal. Do not get it twisted. I have a game plan. But as far as a number of days, there is none.
So
they're gonna realize that when it gets to winter.
With that statement, the next question naturally would be, what is the end goal?
Can't say it. I never discuss strategy publicly. Hey.
So this is an art of war type of thing?
Yep.
Okay.
But I always say in my head, I have like 6 possible outcomes. Half of them I like, half of them I don't. Okay. But realistically, there is about 6 or 7 of them.
Have you met or been in contact with Benjamin Crump and his people or anything?
No, we did an interview on Fox Soul. It was actually supposed to be one of his representations, but she had a pass in the family, so she couldn't make it. So surprisingly, he was the ringer. It was just like, so we was all in an interview together, me, Jennifer, him, my man Lawrence that be coming out there with Fox Soul. And I'm like, oh, this is the dude. Like, looks tired as hell. Like, I'm sure he is. He got a lot going on.
A lot.
He thanked us and whatnot. So he's aware. Like, everybody is aware of what we're doing. It's not no under the table. It's not no, hey, if legally they told us to leave, we would leave. But it's just like, hey, you're not doing anything wrong. And I try to emphasize that, like, yo, we're not doing anything wrong. If you told me I couldn't park on the block, Jennifer then moved her car out the driveway for me just in case. Like, I'll park there. I'll park on the other block and just sit there. I'm like, I'm being really, really nice with every single complaint. I'm playing the game. We too loud? Cool. Nobody will talk tonight. You don't want me to park here? Cool. I'll park 5 houses away from where you didn't want me to park. I'm very compliant. I'm just not a sucker. Like, you can't move me. I'll say that much.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. That's dope. Because then they can't use the little technicalities.
Cool. Keep them. Make up as many rules as you want.
All right. So we about to wind down, but just a couple things I just want to touch real quick. How are you adjusting to your new notoriety?
Sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's a lot of and I hate the name. I hate like fans and people be calling themselves floaters. Just like,
that's ill. I didn't even know that existed until you just.
Yeah, it's a Periscope. It's a Periscope thing. Like, oh, the floaters, and I'm like, you gotta realize like people care about you, but I'm such a introvert. I mean, I'm talking a lot now, but I'm an introvert as far as I don't like being on the phone. I'm not heavy on conversations. I'm also like, you see me, we talk. So like, mad people have my number, my DMs, and it's like, yo, you ask me every day that I eat, I ate. You ask me every day that I sleep, I slept. I took my vitamins, I did everything. I understand your concern, but it's like, leave me alone some days. Like, it's like, let me be. And it's like, Twitter, shoot, I went from July 11th, I had 3,500 followers. I got 45,000 right now. I'm like, I can tweet anything. And that joke, I'm like, this is a lot of freak of attention.
Do you realize that after this, there's gonna be a lot of eyes on you as a leader in a sense?
Yeah. That's the pressure, because people are like, yo man, you better make this a business, start this up, like, let's go global. I'm like, I got people in Kansas like, yo, can you come out here? I'm dealing with harassment. And I'm like, I'm supposed to come out there with a chair? Like, I'm supposed to get on JetBlue with a chair? And I'm like, it's not that I don't want to help. More so, like, people send me their stories, I screenshot it, I'm like, hey, any brothers in Kansas, anybody in this part of the world? I said, because eventually you can't put all the onus on me. I'm one person. I can't be in all 50 states. I don't want to be in all 50 states. So I'm like, yo, I could put the message out there, use this big following to my advantage. Like, oh, I live here. Okay, get in contact with this person, build a rapport, build some trust, and then you do what we're doing outside of Jennifer's house. So that's kind of what I want to do. I don't want to make it too hands-on. I don't like the fact that people drive by and know my government and my alias. Is like, oh, hey, what's going on, Flo? Hey, I don't even know who I'm talking to. It's every single day. Like,
yeah, for an introvert, I can imagine.
Yeah,
That's why I'm on this side of the camera.
Hey, I don't blame you.
All right, so 2 things. This is a real big one. I'm putting you on the hot seat.
Oh man.
I don't know if you're ready for this question.
Oh man.
This might be one of the most important questions I've asked you of the day. Why the Trailblazers, man? Why you running with the Trailblazers?
I'm about to get that tat soon too.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, playing my neighbor, I'm killing him every single day. He like, yo, play with a bad team. I picked the Blazers. I started going crazy with Brandon Roy. And this is his rookie year. I don't know nothing about this dude. I'm not following basketball like that. The next day, the Blazers randomly came on TNT versus, like, I forgot who. It might have been the Rockets. And Brandon Roy was going crazy. I'm like, yo, this is my dude. This is my team.
Yeah.
I've been following them for like 15 years and like,
oh man,
loyal. I can't.
I know. It's been a pleasure having Dame on that team, man.
We dealt with so many injuries. Roy, Odin, Nurkic this year, like. So, Dame.
I think he got it in him that he might be able to get one day. Not this year. This our year. But maybe
it's gonna be a whole. We make that plan. Me and you gonna have a whole different conversation.
We gonna revisit that. You know what I'm saying? We might have to bet some Uncrustables or something on it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll watch it with you live. I'm an annoying person to watch.
Yo, let's do it. Let's do it
the whole time.
Let's do it. That's all right. I'm gonna have all the powder. Be throwing up in there every time LeBron catch a dunk with you.
I don't know if we're gonna win, but we y'all biggest threat.
Yeah.
Out of the possible 3 teams that could have made it.
No, I'm scared, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, man. The way they on it right now, I'm not feeling comfortable.
You shouldn't be scared.
I'm not feeling I'm not feeling too comfortable. Man. And then all right, the last thing before we get up out of here. Yo, Flo, don't you think, man, today would be a great day to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor, man?
God, man. Do it. I don't understand law. I'll be the first person to tell you. I don't know a damn thing about the law, the legal system. I'm learning every single day. I'm like, we know who did it.
Yeah.
Like, we not even asking for a verdict right now.
Right.
We're just saying, yo, put the people that did it in cuffs.
Right.
Like, that don't seem very complicated to me. Like, I'm ignorant. I don't know how these things work, but dude is like walking around. Other dude, like, even the George Floyd case, one of the other dudes like in Walmart, like,
yeah, that was crazy.
Like, living a freaking life while this person is dead. Like, can't understand it.
That was crazy.
Can't understand it. Like, just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
And keep the pressure on them to make sure they do it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's gonna sound bad, but I'll say it. Especially in the George Floyd case.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to be positive, even though I don't trust the legal system. If we get the verdict that we want, the proper sentencing, I better thank the looters and the people that burned down these places.
Because they don't want no more of that.
Because it's like, yo, they did that before a verdict.
Word.
You get this wrong.
Word.
Minnesota might be gone. Right.
Exactly, because Rodney King was a reaction too.
Yep. He didn't even die.
This was setting the tone, letting them know that's what time it is.
And it was a focus. It was a focus attack. The cops in a certain department did it. They burned down that station.
Yeah.
That's sending a clear message. They didn't walk around like if something happened down the block and somebody burned down this building. That wouldn't make sense.
Right.
Those cops did it. They got rid of that police station. That is a planned, focused attack. So if you don't get that right, man, just get it right. That's all I'm saying. Just get it right.
That's what's up. Freedom lies only within.
So,
Flow. Yo, by the way, what's the 349 stand for?
March 4, 2009.
Okay.
My grandmother died, so that's why you see 349 on everything.
Understood. I got my little man with me. He wanna do the outro. Tell the people, see you later.
See you later, and shout out to Floyd.
Shout out to Flo. All right, Flo. Thanks, man.
All right, man.